The M56 Scorpion, an air-mobile, self-propelled tank destroyer, sometimes referred to as a SPAT, for self-propelled anti-tank. The need for such a weapon was determined in the late 1940s to aid airborne forces against tanks. It was thought an unarmored anti-tank platform with a big gun might be better than the light airborne tanks previously used, that though had some armor, were virtually useless against enemy tanks. .325 Scorpions were built between 1953 and 1959. The tank destroyer was operated by a crew of 4 from an open crew compartment. Armament was a 90mm M54 gun with a simple blast shield. It weighed only 7.1 tons, which made it suitable for its most interesting feature, which was that it could be delivered by glider or parachute. The Scorpion was manufactured by Cadillac Motor Car Division of General Motors, specifically for U.S. airborne forces. It was a bare-bone design, no chemical or biological protection. It was not amphibious. Its only armor was the small 5mm thick blast shield. It's powered by a 6-cylinder 200 horsepower gasoline engine with 335 pounds of torque, giving it a maximum road speed of 28 miles or 45 kilometers per hour, with a maximum range of 140 miles, or 230 kilometers. The vehicle is fully tracked. The tracks run on rubber-tired run-flat road wheels, which are less durable than a solid wheel, but help with shock absorption, and keep the weight down for the airborne vehicle. Power was delivered to the tracks by front-drive sprocket wheels. One of the best features of the vehicle was its exceedingly low ground pressure, which is reportedly around the same as a soldier in full kit, so it did well on soft terrain. The Scorpion could be mounted and made ready to fight in about 1 minute after meeting up with the crew. The Scorpion saw service in the Vietnam War, though this was limited. It was mainly used in a direct fire support role by the 173rd Airborne Brigade, the only airborne brigade deployed with the Scorpion. Ultimately, the gun wasn't needed in the anti-tank role in Vietnam. The Scorpion had to be carefully used in the jungles of the nation. The whole crew could be taken out by a single artillery round. In this sense, it wasn't much more useful than a Jeep mounted with a recoilless rifle. The Marines used the M50 for a similar purpose as the Scorpion, but it was fully encased. The M50 was armed with 6 recoilless rifles, and its first prototype had the same running gear as the Scorpion. Ultimately, the M551 Sheridan replaced the Scorpion in Vietnam, which had a fully armored turret, was amphibious, and could also be paradropped.
Bunker, 800.
The Scorpion was fairly reliable, and servicing the vehicle was easy enough with no armor plating in the way. The hood, for example, opened like a car's. Driving the vehicle was also easy. The driver used a steering wheel and had a good field of view, able to look directly through a large windshield, which was placed in the blast shield. The gunner had the most exciting job. The M54 gun kicked like a mule, and the Scorpion was barely large enough to accommodate it. The recoil is significantly greater than shown in some movies. The recoil bounced around the entire vehicle, and this could really bang up the crew. The gunner had to be careful not to smash into his sights. The manual for the vehicle even highlights the risk of the recoil, stating the loader and commander should dismount when firing. The gun could traverse 30 degrees left or right, which would cramp up the man on the other side of the gun. The gun had 10 degrees of depression and 15 degrees of elevation. The Scorpion's gun, the M54, was a modified 90mm gun, common to the American Army at the time, and could fire an array of ammunition. Typically available was a 44-pound armor-piercing round that could punch through 190mm of armor at a kilometer. The loader for the weapon had to move from their seat and load the gun from a small platform at the rear of the vehicle, where 29 rounds of ammunition were available. Note that the gun automatically ejects the spent casing after firing. There were no secondary guns on the Scorpion. The Scorpion was exported to Spain, South Korea, and Morocco, with Morocco using them in combat during the Western Sahara War, which began in 1975.
From now on, my name is Scorpion.
All right, I'm Johnny. Thanks for checking out this Scorpion with me. Have a nice rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.